Hello, hello. Welcome to the Happy Hippie Intuitive. This is Nina and I'm here to do your weekly reading, 1 week ahead or 7 days ahead from whenever you find this reading. Before we jump into the reading today, I would like to remind you that these are timeless, as I said. They are also general, so you have to take what resonates and leave the rest behind, please. If you like what I do, please consider hitting that like button and subscribe if you haven't, and click the bell so you get notified every time I upload. I always list the cards I use below. You can find them there in the description box, and I also put timestamps so you quick and easy can jump to the reading once you have picked the pile that was meant for you. Now, let's get down to the picking of the pile. Now, we have 3 different tarot decks that we're going to use today. Now, number 1, you have what is called the Anima Mundi tarot. Now, this is actually a normal Rider-Waite tarot, but it is a special collection with a little bit more bling bling. And this is also a Rider-Waite, but it is in gold and black edition, so it is only gold cards here. So that's quite interesting, considering this is being taped in the week of New Year's. So also you have 3 objects to choose from. So you have on number 1, you have a copper pyramid. On number 2, there is a cluster of quartz. A little bit of bling bling there as well. And on number 3, we have a gold pyrite cube. So those are your options. Now, invite your angels and guides to guide you to pick either pile number 1, 2, or 3, or either deck number 1, 2, or 3. If you need more time, then pause the video to make sure that you make the pick that was meant for you. I'll be back in a moment and I will start with number 1. Okay, so removing deck number 3 and number 2. Okay, number 1, so if you picked the Anima Mundi tarot and also with this copper pyramid, then this is the reading for you. I'll put it up here so it will be part of your reading. Now we are going to pick 6 tarot cards as we always do for the weekly. And we will pull some additional oracle cards. And I also have an additional tarot deck if we need some more clarification on what it is that we get. Remember that these can last also longer than the 7 days and then next week, all depending on what it is that pops up in your reading, number 1. Okay, so let us pull 6 cards for you guys from the Anima Mundi tarot. Page of Wands. Knight of Wands. 7 of Swords. The Fool. The 4 of Swords. Just going to push those a little bit further up here so they all get in view. 4 of Swords and the 7 of Wands. Okay. Underneath the deck, 10 of Wands. Okay. So I think I'm putting the pyramid over here so we can see the cards better. Okay, so let us see number 1. The energies that are presented to you this week. Okay. I have a feeling that there's an imbalance for you, number 1, I have to say, because what I'm seeing here in the middle is the Knight of Wands, and then underneath the 4 of Swords. Now, the Knight of Wands is someone who is very passionate. I mean, Wands is a fire element, right? So it is about passion and fire and drive and the wanting to move forward. And the Knight as well is, of course, someone that comes in quickly and with extra force. But underneath, you have the 4 of Swords, which is inviting us to rest. To stay in stillness, to go within, to take a break. So there's 2 kind of totally different energies right here in the middle. So the feeling I get with that is that there is an invitation for balancing when it's time to have action and when it's time to rest. Okay. Now we have the Page of Wands as well. And the Page of Wands is kind of new energy, new passion. It can be an invitation or it can be a new idea. It can also be a person coming into your life with passion. Underneath, you have the Fool, which is also, it's trust, of course, trust in whatever it is that is happening for you. Not, the angels are there with you and they're doing things for you. But it's also the beginning of something new, and coming underneath the Page of Wands, which is, it's a new idea or new person. I would say that there's kind of a new start or potential for a new start. But what happens often when we are in that new beginning of something is that we get very eager. We want things to move ahead quickly, or we want things to drive quickly. We want that passion to kind of start rolling with whatever it is that we are engaging in. And so we forget the balance, okay? We might be just barging ahead a little bit too much. And so there's an energy imbalance here. Because what you have here is the Seven of Swords. Now, the Seven of Swords for me can be, of course, deception. It can be the feeling of something being taken away from you. But very often it is actually your own ego. Your own ego coming in your own way. Your own ego pushing you to do something that maybe you shouldn't, or overdo something, or overthink something, okay? Underneath you also have the Seven of Wands. So there's two sevens here. And the Seven of Wands is about standing your ground. The feeling of the need for defending yourself, or, putting up your boundaries, or kind of a feisty energy again with the fire element. So you have wands, 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 and wands and swords here. So that's the mental, and this is your energy. That's kind of the force, the driving force. So when the Seven of Wands comes up, there's a need for, or the feeling like you need to defend yourself. And when I see the Ten of Wands here, which is the card of a heavy burden, I feel like you're taking on too much, okay? You're wanting to do everything at once. You're wanting things to move ahead quickly. You're maybe pushing a little bit too much, or your ego might be pushing you a bit too much here, or making something into being something it's not. The invitation for all of these cards, in my opinion, is to let down your burden, go within, rest, okay? This new opportunity coming your way will never pass you by. If it was meant to be, it will happen no matter what. So you don't have to worry about it. But don't force it, though. Don't let your ego push you into something too quickly, or to use up your energy on something that it's not supposed to. Okay? So that's kind of what I feel. But we can draw a little bit more tarot on this. Is there a clarification on what this Seven of Swords is, please? Can we get some clarification on the Seven of Swords? Please get some clarification on the Seven of Swords. Oh, yeah. There's two that just popped out. Six of Wands, Six of Swords. Okay, so Six of Swords is, of course, where you move away from the old and into something new. And that might be this new beginning that you are doing now. That you're leaving something old behind in order for you to move away from what no longer suits you, and then you move into better shores. So that's kind of what this Seven of Swords can represent, or it can be an invitation to do that, to leave behind what no longer serves you. Because the ego, of course, you're overthinking and not letting the body rest. That's something you might want to leave behind now. Okay, that kind of thinking. So I do feel like it's belonging over here as well, with the new beginning, leaving something all behind. But they're kind of reminding you again that, didn't you leave that behind already? Or are we still kind of thinking the same thoughts, or kind of being pulled into that same thing again? But you got this sort of victory here, or also a victory and recognition. So I do feel like, there's great potential for kind of overcoming this situation. But I do feel like this is your ego. For some of you, it might be somebody else kind of putting obstacles in your way, kind of. Let's look underneath the deck, I was told. Nine of Swords. Okay, yeah, so you are definitely, because this is sleepless nights, or overthinking, worrying about stuff, okay? So either there is, of course, somebody on the outside making you feel this way, and then like something has been taken away from you and you need to move away from that now. But it can very, very often be your own ego kind of making up stories here. And if you have sleepless nights, I would also say, make sure that you have a pad and a pencil next to your bed so you can write down. If you wake up in the middle of the night, start thinking about something, write it down so you can kind of let it go and then fall back asleep, okay? Because sleep is very important. Now, yeah, I do, because you see what's bothering her is not people though. It's kind of her own demons here. You see that? So it is your own ego, you see, that might be messing this new beginning up if you are not careful, because your ego might be pushing you to do stuff too quickly and too much at once. But there is great potential here with this new beginning because of the 601s that came here. But you need to let down some of your burden here. So you need to prioritize, delegate if it's work. And definitely don't make your ego miss this opportunity to move away from that old. So see what it is that you can do with that situation. You might want to sink in, and yeah, you got the 10 of Wands underneath there too. So see what it is that you can let go of now. Because your ego is very good at pulling you back into the old way of thinking. Even though you think, I'm done with that now, the ego will try and get you back to it, you see. So just be aware of that. Now, I want to pull a couple of oracle cards here as well. Let's see what the oracle has to say. Reflect on your priorities. Yeah, exactly. So you kind of have to keep that eye on the ball moving forward. Make sure that you don't get distracted by your own ego or by others who doesn't want your success, who are maybe jealous of your success, or who kind of doesn't want to see you succeed in what it is that you do. There are those kind of people too, so just be aware of that. That might be significant for some of you. So keep your eye on the ball and reflect on your priorities, as they say, and make sure that your ego doesn't ruin things for you now. The Oracle forecast. I am the Oracle. My intuitive insights flow freely. Okay, so that's an invitation, of course, to stay connected with your spiritual, with your soul space. Again, away from the ego. I do feel like ego presence is a big part of this reading today, number one. And it's very, this one wanted to pop out. Okay. Third eye activation. Brow chakra, inner vision, clear seeing. Okay. Yeah, so there might be an invitation for you to do a third eye activation here. Sit down in meditation and ask the angels to come in and help you open up your third eye so that you can see things clearly. There might be something that you're missing here. Underneath the deck, sort of light. Divine protection, cords cut, breakthrough energy. Exactly. So cutting the cords to what it is that you no longer need, like the Six of Swords says, you know, and cutting the cords to your own ego mind making trouble for you, okay? Because I do have a feeling that there's kind of a recycling process in your mind. Even though maybe you felt like you've done that work already, as I said, the ego will keep on trying. So you just have to be aware of it and contemplate, you know, gather your thoughts or gather your energy, get into the soul space, as they say here, my intuitive insights, and then maybe do that third eye activation. So maybe you can see things even more clearly moving into the Six of Wands energy here, okay? So I'm going to pull a couple of charms at the end just in my hand today. See if I can reach down in my bowl. Just a couple in the end. And if you see this reading, you know, when it was made, then it is very close to the end of the year. And so there is a big shift of energy in general with a new year coming, you know. So there is kind of that Six of Swords energy happening also in general. Okay. So this is actually a medal. It was my boyfriend's medal. He was in the U.S. Air Force. There's a reward in this. Definitely a reward. Like it's the Six of Wands here can also be recognition, and it's also victory. So I do feel like this is an important process for you to do, to get to that space where this reward is waiting for you. Okay. It also might be this one if you have someone. Yeah, it's two things. Okay, so some of you might have somebody overseas within the military. Then I would say that this is a big hug from them, love from them. But also if you have someone that has a military connection in spirit, then this is a hello from them to you. Okay. Now you also got the sun here, which is beautiful. So as I said, there's huge potential for you here, if you can steer clear of this sword energy here. Of the ego energy, and of course a butterfly for emergence, for growing, and also the key to love. Okay, so what is your key to love? Try and look into what that might be for you. Number one, what is it that will unlock your heart? Oh, something fell down. What is it in you, you know, that needs unlocking to accept new love, or to accept love in general, or to take that love from the universe in? Is there something blocking that energy for coming in? Is there some thought process within you that's blocking new love, or love relations, or love in general to come in? You have to look at that, number one, okay? So don't let your ego block whatever it is that's coming towards you now. Now, there's something new, there's something passionate. It can be love, it can be a new friendship, it can be a new job offer. You know, you have to adjust this to where you are. But your ego is very active, I feel. It's making sleepless nights, and it's making you second guess yourself, and second guess, you know, whatever it is that's coming towards you. So don't let it, because the rewards are here. Okay, so let down that burden of being dragged into this over and over and over again, okay? The rewards are here. You are blossoming. It's growing. You got the sun, which is kind of the most positive. If you were to look at the tarot, it's the most positive sign or card in the tarot. So I do feel lots of potential for you. But look into also this third eye activation, okay? Just see things even clearly for you, okay? I think that was it, number one. Thank you so much for being part of this reading today. I wish you the very best. And if I don't see you before the new year, then Happy New Year. And I'll see you in my next reading whenever I see you, okay? Bye-bye until then. So let us now put these back so we can get into the next reading. Okay, number two, so if you chose this cluster of quartz and this kind of shiny pinky version of the Waite Tarot, then this is the reading for you. I'll put your crystal up here so it will be part of your reading. And we will pull 6 cards for you guys as the overarching energy for the coming week. And then we will use other tarot and also oracle cards and also some charms in the end, as always, okay? So let us look at it, number two. What's the energies potentially for you this coming week? Now, these cards are plastic, actually, so you can use them on the beach, you can use them in water. They will never be ruined, these ones, but they're a little bit slippery. So anyways, okay, let's look at it. The moon. Oh, there was 2 that wanted to come out at the same time, so I will let them as the middle top card there. Wow, okay. Now this is a very good first row, and it is very significant energy. Is all major arcana cards here. Oh, okay. Something is happening with you, number 2. Wow, okay. Ooh, what's going on? Oh, wow. Okay, underneath, 3 of Cups. Okay, so you have the Moon and the 3 of Swords. You have the Empress and the High Priestess together underneath. You have the 5 of Cups. You have the Fool on top there, and then you have the 10 of Swords underneath. And here you have the 3 of Cups. They're telling me to look underneath. And that's the 10 of Wands. Okay, yeah. Okay, I need a sip of water, and then we'll get into it, number 2. Okay. I do feel like there is a big shift energetically for you, number 2. I feel like this might have something to do with what we call the awakening or the ascension, some people call it, or the integrating of new energies, or the waking up of, you know, to who you truly are. And so, you know, when we do that awakening process and we kind of bring in this new energy in, or the energy from the universe, then it will rattle something inside of us. Some of that old wounds will come to the surface to be felt through. And I do feel like you have been doing that. Either it's happening to you now, or you have been doing that work for a while. Okay. Because I see this, because especially these 2 cards and together with the 5 of Cups. The Empress and the High Priestess tells me that you are growing. You're spiritually growing, okay? This is spiritual growth for me. And underneath you have the 5 of Cups, which is the card of, you know, you are focusing on what's being spilt here. You're focusing on the sorrow instead of focusing on the 2 cups behind you that are full. So it's an invitation. Yes, feel through whatever it is that you need to feel through. That's important. But don't forget that there is a silver lining here, okay? So I definitely feel like this has very much to do with spiritual growth, or growth in general as a human being also. Growing maybe out of growing pains, growing out of the old, growing out of the hurt, and maybe growing out of trauma, or, you know, working through trauma and letting it go. So the Moon is, of course, looking also at your shadow side, and that comes on top of the 3 of Swords, which is, of course, grief. So I do feel like you have been going, and this is kind of in the past, though. So I do feel like you have either started this process or you've gone through this process, okay? So that is about looking at your childhood wounds, looking at your trauma, looking at things that have hurt you, and actually being bold enough to feel it through. That's the only way we can look at it, because if you try to escape it or if you try to heal it, then you're going against your own emotion. Then you're telling your emotions that there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with those emotions. And it never is, because emotions are just a reaction of something. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's like the emotions are a messenger of something else. So you can never say to a messenger, yeah, you're wrong. Your message is wrong. No, the message is right. There's nothing wrong with the message. But there is something underneath that needs some loving, okay? So what you need to do is let that Christ consciousness, let that light, God itself, creator, source, energy, come into your physical form and help you give love to whatever it is that needs love, okay? The only way to kind of get through it is to feel through it. So you have to feel it. If you need help, then contact the therapist to help you do that. Hold your hand, okay? And then you feel into it and just allow it to come forward. And in this situation, tears is a gift, okay? Because as soon as you get there, then it starts to kind of move through you. That energy starts to kind of move through you and out. And there are several meditations you can do. And, you know, but first of all, sit in stillness. Give yourself the space and the time to feel this through, okay? Very important. Now, you are definitely growing here. There's a huge growth, because there's this entire row here is major arcana. So it hurts, yes, but there is, as I said, a silver lining in it, and the silver lining being you're growing so much. It's a huge leap, okay, in the growth process, in the spiritual growth process here. So I'm seeing this as a huge leap for you, as a huge growth, either as a human being or on your spiritual journey. You have the Fool. This is a new beginning. And they're also asking you to trust with this one, okay? So the universe is saying they're here, and they want you to trust that everything is moving in the way it's supposed to. And underneath you have the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords is, of course, a card which will, of course, as you can see, that it looks like we are depleted. It looks like I've given up. It looks like I've been stabbed in the back. Yes, but what is very important with the Ten of Swords is that there is the sun rising on the horizon, and it's the last of the swords. So it's the last of the hardship, okay? So that's when we are ready to let go. So I feel like you're in this process right now where you have been going through some hardship. You have been feeling things through. There might be still some stuff that you do need to feel through. But then it's time to look at the silver lining. Then it's time to look at this new coming towards you. Then it's time to look at, you have already reached the Ten of Swords. The worst is over. This is the card that tells you the worst is over. And underneath here, you got the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands, again, being the last. Being time to put down your burden. You know, delegate, if that's the case. If this is also work-related for you. And then also you have the Three of Cups, which is joy, celebration, and also partnership. It can be partnership, friendship with friends, colleagues, but also partnership with spirit, which is something I feel is a big thing in this reading today. Okay. I'm not going to pull any more tarot cards on this because I feel like this was quite, to the point, but I will pull some oracle cards for you. Okay. Let's see number 2. Let's see what you get. Any additional advice for number 2, please? Any additional advice for number 2, please? Let's see. Take a breather. Yeah. So remember to take care of you in this entire process that you're going through here. Remember to breathe. Breath work, very important. Also, when we're going through and feeling through, sorrow or grief or these old kind of energies that needs to let go. So make sure that you have time to breathe, any space to breathe. Maybe do some yoga exercises, breath work, those kind of things, right? And it's also Cancer, so it is also very emotional, breathing down into your stomach, into your gut, into your chest, where the emotions very often sit, and breathe it through. Use breath work to breathe through whatever it is that you're going through as well. Okay, so let us see more information, please. The ancient grandmother teacher. I am the teacher that leads with self-knowledge. And that's what I feel, because you're growing so much in your spiritual here, that I feel like when you've gone through all of this, you're ready to teach others. And you can then show the way and show them how you got through all of this, right? And then be the teacher and that hand to hold for somebody else. Okay? So as I said, I have a feeling that you're growing very much. And it's very significant. It's very important. And it's also important because maybe you're supposed to teach, right? Maybe the universe is saying that you as a spiritual warrior are needed now. One last oracle card. Okay, let's see. Seraphim's Gateway, voice activation, angelic attunement, and divine support. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, so they're definitely telling you that they are with you on this journey here. Voice activation. So again, I feel like your voice is supposed to be heard. Okay, underneath that deck, I am presence. I am presence. Light body activation, accessing the divine within. Yeah. So as I said, I think you are a spiritual warrior, and that your work here is needed. And they're saying voice activation as in you're supposed to speak up. You're supposed to share. So it might also be that it's time to start sharing already, because many people can benefit from knowing what you're going through as well. If this is rough, you don't have to be already done with everything before you can become the teacher yourself, You can become the teacher on the way and be part of the growth process with others, as long as yourself is growing as well. So for many people, they will feel then that they resonate maybe better with you because you are going through what you're going through, okay? So that might be a message for some of you. Now let us pull a couple of charms in the end today. See what we get here, number 2. Okay, quite a few. Okay. So you got a flip-flop. And for me, that is vacation. All depending on where you live on the planet. I mean, on the southern hemisphere, you are probably wearing flip-flops right about now. But for me, this is kind of a sign of vacation. So take a break. As they have said before, take a breather. So if you feel like this is kind of getting too much, it's okay to put it aside for a little bit. Take a break, do something nice, do something joyful, do something fun, and then you can get back to it when you kind of feel like you have the time and space. Now, there is a shell as well. So there is, for some of you, something about a beach. You might also be living, of course, somewhere where there is sun or quite warm during the entire year. So maybe going to the beach, being close to the beach and the water being very rinsing and very kind of nurturing. So that might be a message for some of you. You also have a dove with a letter. So there might be some new news coming your way. An email, SMS, letter, something in the mail for you. You also have a snowflake. So for those of you on the northern hemisphere with snow, and going outside playing with the snow, that's also getting into alignment with that soul space when we are in that joy and that playfulness. You also have a fairy here, so contact nature. Are you spending enough time outside now, number 2? Or do you need maybe some more nurturing from nature? You have a horse here, which for me is both strength and also gentleness at the same time. So again, balancing. Yeah. So I feel gentleness very much with this one. So be gentle with yourself, I would say, and practice gentleness in general. There is a bicycle here, so there might be some travel for some of you here in this coming week. Not surprising if you watch this when it's being taped in the Christmas vacation and close to New Year's. So there might be a travel involved in that, of course. So, okay, number 2, I feel like that was it. And so I wish you the very best in this process that you're in. I think I pretty much said what I need to say. I wish you the very best moving into this. I know it's hard and you have my love, and things will get better. Always remember that, okay? One step at a time. It takes the time it takes, but things will get better. And yeah, and at the same time, I would, if you watch it as I said, when it's being made, it's almost New Year's, so Happy New Year. And I will see you on the next crossroads, I guess. I'll see you when I see you, okay? Bye for now, number 2. Okay, so removing these so we can continue with the next. Okay, number 3, if you chose this golden pyrite, then this is the reading for you. So I will put it up here so it will be part of your reading. We're going to pull 6 cards as we always do, and then we're going to look into the energies further with oracle cards and then some charms in the end today. I hope you're all doing well, number 3. I hope you're maneuvering the energies. If you're watching this at the time it was made, it's in between Christmas and New Year's, so we're getting close to the new year. So I hope you're having a nice Christmas and a very happy New Year. So let us look into it, number 3. 6 cards for you. The Lovers. 7 of Cups. The 6 of Cups. The Emperor. The Queen of Swords. The Hermit. The Hanged Man. Okay. Okay, so the Lovers card can of course be a love relationship, but it can also be friendship, and it can also be a relationship with the divine. The Lovers is also a Gemini card, so it's also about balance. It's about 2. It's about also choice, and it's also about communication. Okay, Now the Emperor sits on his throne. He's very much in his element, and he is kind of the ruler of them all, right? So there's a very profound energy I feel in this row right here. But I feel like there is love, but there is a love that's kind of hidden underneath a mask, or underneath a, I don't know, that kind of old-fashioned manly way of looking at things, maybe, you know, that grandfather kind of energy, where they love you but they don't really know how to show it, kind of thing. So that's just a feeling I get when I see and touch these two cards here. Okay, now in the middle row you have options. Okay, it's the Seven of Cups. It's options, it's opportunities. But what is also is that some you can see what it is, but some are hidden, so you don't really know what it is. And then some is actually maybe not so good for you. So it is about, what are you focusing on, or what's your choice? What do you choose to play in, kind of. Underneath we have the Queen of Swords. Now the Queen of Swords is someone who's very analytical. She's very much in her head, but she's also clear. She sees things clearly. She's clear also in her speech, in her communication. But the Queen of Swords can also be someone who communicates maybe a little bit too clearly, and sometimes she might even be someone who stings a little bit, you know. Some people say that this is her stinger, you know. So it might also be someone who's a little bit too blunt, okay? Now, the Six of Cups is about childhood. It's about children. It can be your children. It can be grandchildren. It can be you as a child. So it's also about reminiscing. Also about nostalgia. Okay. And the Hermit is, of course, as it says, being in a hermit mode, going within. But also the Hermit carries the torch, the lamp, which is significant for the divine, okay? So the Hermit is also in connection with the divine through stillness, right? And, of course, you have the Hanged Man here, which is being in limbo, but also about gaining a new perspective. They asked me to look underneath. Now you have the Queen of Pentacles, and that's a very nurturing woman, grounded woman. Okay, so I do feel like grounding is needed, is what I hear, and that might be why this Hanged Man is coming up, because there is a new perspective, there is a new way of looking at things by being grounded, or you might feel the need for, or the physical form might feel the need for grounding and being in stillness and being maybe in limbo for a while, okay? You have to take it as it resonates with you. Now, as I said, I had a feeling that this might be a person who loves you but don't know really how to say it, okay? So there might be somebody holding back, kind of behind a mask, maybe a little bit too stubborn, maybe not knowing how to address a situation or a person or a relationship, okay? Now, as I said, also, this might also be a woman who can be, or person, no gender specific, who stings a little bit, who doesn't think through their words, who can just bluff. Okay, so that might be significant for some of you. And then it's a matter of, okay, are you going to focus on whatever they say that's hurtful, or focus on the fact that they don't know how to show their love, or are you going to focus on the fact that you know that underneath they love you? I do feel kind of like a father-mother energy here, maybe grandmother, grandfather, where they are kind of taught in the old school, if you will, on how to give love, and so they really don't know kind of how to express the love that they feel for you, okay? And that might have something to do with childhood, you know, that they love reminiscing, and you kind of wanting to look back at your childhood with you know, joy and happiness and all that, but it isn't always that way, because this card can also be childhood wounds, okay? So there might be something, maybe because they don't really know how to show you that love, that you feel like you have kind of been missing out, or you're missing that kind of love in your life, okay? And that's when I say that the Hermit is the person who's connected with the divine. And I would like to say, in this entire situation, and also with the invitation for the Hanged Man, gaining a new perspective, is the you know, people, human beings, they can never be able to show the true love, okay? They're not capable. The ego is not capable. The true love that exists in the universe doesn't come from people. It comes from the universe. It comes from the creator. It comes from source, okay? It comes from source energy. So what I would say to some of you who feel like this is you, that you are lacking the love from your parents or grandparents or family or, you know, close friends or, you know, the people that's kind of supposed to be your ground pillars in life, I would say that, you know, then you need to feel through that feeling of abandonment. Yes. But remember, humans can never give you that kind of love, okay? It's only the universe, it's only the God creator source that can give you, or angels that can give you that love that maybe you need. So, gaining the new perspective here. Gaining the new perspective saying, okay, I understand now. The only way I can actually gain that kind of love is through the hermit. It's through connection with the spiritual realm. It's through connection with my angels, with my higher self, with source, okay? So what do you focus on here in this situation? Are you focusing on the lack? Are you focusing on, you know, I should have gotten that love. Why didn't they love me enough? Why did they say those things to me? Why couldn't this, blah, blah, blah? Or are you focusing on, okay, they are who they are. I cannot change them. It's not my job to change them. They have their experience as a human. I will connect with my spiritual. I will connect with my team, with my angels, with past loved ones, and I will gain that love I need from them. And I will leave these people to be who they are in this lifetime and learn, you know, and go and play in the energies that they have chosen to play in this lifetime, okay? So that might be significant for some of you. For others of you, this might actually be a love relationship, but with that, I would say this person might not be able to show you exactly how they feel, okay? They might be holding back because they really don't know how, or they're afraid to say something wrong, afraid to do something wrong, afraid to be the person with the stinger, okay? They might also be very analytical and very grounded people who are kind of, it takes time for them to move and it takes time for them to maybe express their love. So again, what are you focusing on here, okay? Are you focusing again on the lack, on how you wish things were? Or are you focusing on what's correct? Are you taking the high road? Are you gaining that new perspective on things, okay? So this can be, of course, friendship, love relationship, colleagues. It can be family, adjusted to where you are. But they are definitely inviting you to gain a new perspective, okay? Let us pull another oracle. I'm not going to pull any more tarot. I don't think I need to today. That was quite clear. So let us just look at these oracle cards here. Pull an oracle. So you got Taurus, detoxify. Yeah. So, you know, it's about letting that go, that way of looking at the situation, because that will be very toxic for you. Then you will end up choosing the snake up here, or maybe there will be something underneath there that's not very good for you, okay? So it's keeping an eye on the ball here and just let go of that negative thinking, because your ego can make this into being a whole lot more than it is, okay? Just be aware of that. I know number 3, it's easy to go down that road. Okay, let's see. The Huntress, quest. The Pleiades light my quest to be wild and free. Okay, so it's breaking free, I feel, from those shackles. Very much about that. You might also look into the Pleiades. There might be some connection for you there if you're not already connected with them. They're very healing, by the way. And the quest. So what is it again? What is it that you're aiming at? What is it that you want out of this relationship? Okay, look at that. Okay, there was a couple of cards that just popped out here. Anunnaki light codes, energetic shift, new information, end of cycle. Together with the Hanged Man here, new information coming towards you. Stellar gateway activation, infinite potential, manifestation vortex. Okay, so you are definitely manifesting right now. And so what is it that you're manifesting? Again, where do you have your focus? Okay, very important for you, number 3, where you have your focus right now. So I'm going to pull some charms. Okay, you got the pipe. That's hard work. So it might be that either this person is a very hardworking person, very person that very focuses on work and money and those kind of things. might be significant. You got the wand, so again, you're the magician. As I say, you're manifesting here, most definitely. You got the heart. So as I've said all along, you got two hearts. They do love you, but they just don't know how to express themselves, okay? And you got the shell, which for me is very emotional, but it's also very feminine, kind of nurture energy. And it's also about the water element, which is diving deep into your emotions. So you might need to do that with this card of reminiscing as well. You also got a little rocking horse. So there might be a new family member coming your way. Baby maybe in the vicinity, or also it can also be an invitation to play more, to stay in that joyful energy where you play, because then you are in connection as the hermit here. Playfulness will automatically kind of get you in touch with your soul space. So that's an invitation as well, to use that as a way in to connect, okay? Because I feel like it's very important for you now, number 3, to connect with your higher self and with source. Don't let your ego make this into being something it's not. And remember that you can never change people. People need to be allowed to be who they are and what they chose to play on this planet, in this human lifetime, in, you know, this time around. So just let them be who they are. Feel through it if you need to. But remember that the love, the true love, comes from within and comes from spirit, okay? There is an energy shift here, new information coming towards you. You are manifesting. So detoxify, let that go, and step into this beautiful new energy coming your way by going inwards and connecting, okay? Yeah, a lot of information maybe at once here, number 3, but I hope I explained this in a good way. Well, this was taped in between Christmas and New Year's, so I want to say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I wish you the very best moving forward with whatever this is for you, number 3, and until the next time I see you. Bye.